I'm your host David, and today we're bringing you a bit of a different episode. At the time this is being recorded, we've been filming and releasing episodes for about 6 months, and we wanted to bring you the thoughts and reactions so far of the people who make up the Cold War channel. So here we go. This is the Cold War. To begin with, the Cold War is not just me, the attractive guy behind the desk. The channel is made up of a great team of people. Nolan, our producer, Ilkin, our historian, Cameron, our production assistant, and our team of writers, Tristan from Step Back History, Turgut, and Matt. We also rely on the fantastic animation skill of Orhan for the episodes where we give you a break from my face on camera. Without the care, dedication, and time and knowledge of any and all of these people, bringing you any episode would be impossible. So my gratitude to everybody. So let's start by talking about how we make our episodes. Nolan, Ilkin, and myself start by having a map of areas and topics we want to cover with weekly episodes. We write everything out and then we discuss. And then we argue about what topics should have their own episodes, what should be combined, and what might need to be left out to possibly come back to at a later date. We all have different backgrounds and different historical knowledge and interests, so this collaborative approach helps to make sure that we're hitting not only the most well-known topics, but trying to bring in and include some topic aspects that may not be as generally well-known to a larger audience. If you want an example, for myself, I knew little about the situation in Iran in the immediate post-war period, and when we were discussing topics, it likely wouldn't have been something I would have included. But Nolan and Ilkin, both far more familiar with Iranian history, knew it was vital to cover, and we even had to make 2 episodes to properly explain the situation there. Okay, so once we have a topic list, we figure out who would be the best person to research and write an episode. This gets decided usually based on who has not just some free time, the most precious commodity of all, by the way, but also a good working background of the subject. For example, since one of our writers, Turgut, has access to sources in Russian, he often gets picked to work on topics that directly involve the Soviet Union, where those sources can bring a different perspective to those that, for example, I would be able to access, as my Russian is almost non-existent. Once a script is written, it gets passed to Ilkin and myself for editing. We do rewrites and make sure that the flow of the script works, but possibly most importantly, we review for content and bias. This doesn't mean, of course, that we get it perfect every time, and we've made the occasional error, as some of you have rightly pointed out in the video comments, but we try our best. No, really, we do. Then comes the filming. We have a dedicated studio space that we use so that what you see around me stays constant from video to video. We will occasionally make updates as we need to, including these guys here, but for the most part, the studio is going to remain constant. Nolan, our producer extraordinaire, sets up the cameras and the lighting. I get in front of the camera and I do the thing that you guys out there end up seeing. Sometimes I end up doing this thing a few times, over and over, to get it as smooth as possible. It's not always as easy as it looks. I've been surprised over the last 6 months how much more difficult this is than I originally thought. For reference, I've never done anything like this before in my life, so it's all been a learning experience, but we generally feel that I'm doing better with every passing week. Once the video is recorded, Nolan and Ilkin take the raw footage and work their production magic. This includes finding relevant film reel that can be used, as well as music to help enhance the video product. This is a really time-intensive and sometimes tedious process, but one that's oh so critical to the ultimate success of the final product. Nolan and Ilkin also create graphics, like the thumbnail that gets displayed. This is all a level of dedication and creativity that boggles my mind, and I never fail to be impressed week after week as to the product that gets made. Finally, the video gets sent around to all of us to review for any errors and for general feedback. Once this is good, the video is prepared for upload and release. All simple, right? So What have I learned from 6 months of this? I've learned a lot, actually, both in historical terms, but also about what people are interested in and are passionate about. I've learned that maps are very, very important to a lot of people. I've learned that if I don't move my hands, people feel I'm not animated enough or passionate enough about the subject. However, if I move my hands too much, it's distracting. There's a fine balance to be struck, and I'm looking to find it. Just please bear with me. I've found that pronunciation can be devilishly tricky, especially when I'm trying to make a narrative flow smoothly. Pronunciation of certain letter combinations changes from language to language, and I'm not a linguist. So to anybody whose language I've severely butchered so far, or will in the future, please accept my apologies. The Shah was shot at 5 times by Nasser Fakhrai. Fakhrai?
Yeah.
And called on Ayatollah Sayyid Hossein Boroujerdi?
Ayatollah Sayyid Hussein Boroujerdi.
Over Tripoli. Soviet attempts. With the military bases at Haban. Oh God. Rioting against the new agreement broke out across Egypt, and Britain was forced to withdraw its troops' presence. Rioting, come back to that again. Have a special trusteeship over over Libya. But once we replace a few people on in the Soviet Union, I hate this part.
Do you want to check the script or?
Yeah, this is. I need to rewrite this. It doesn't work. Ruling party in Turkey set to lose key city of Istanbul after rerun mayoral election in big blow for President Erdogan.
Again?
BBC. Even after the end of the... and...
American?
Yeah. And Igor Kucherov... Nope. Kuchatov. To admit 100,000 survivors. 100,000 subscribers. That's what I keep wanting to say. Nah. Meet. Overall, I've gained a better appreciation for YouTube in general. Before I became involved in this project, YouTube was this place to go and watch a funny video about cats, or some sports highlights if I'd heard a particular athlete did something incredible, and I missed it while watching my team inevitably choke in the last 10 minutes of a game. YouTube is this phenomenal place where people can share knowledge, can present ideas, and engage with a global audience. I'm a 42-year-old suburban dad. If I can YouTube, anybody can YouTube. Now, where does the Cold War go from here? We continue onward to November 9th, 1989. There's still an awful lot to cover. It's been 6 months, and we haven't even gotten to the Greek Civil War, let alone Korea, the space race, Vietnam, NATO and the Warsaw Pact, Suez and Budapest, Salvador Allende, SALT, Afghanistan, the Indo-Pakistani Wars, Able Archer. And so, to make sure you don't miss future episodes, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and have pressed the bell button. We can be reached via email at thecoldwarchannel@gmail.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/thecoldwartv. We rely on our patrons to create these videos, so consider supporting us via www.patreon.com/thecoldwar. This is the Cold War Channel, and we will catch you on the next one. Still not wearing pants.